watching myself when I'm talking, so I'll probably not watch this. But yeah, it's good to have. The consequences and two real situations, real stories that I faced myself and I've seen that they illustrate this kind of behavior, right? So I need to tell you as well, just be aware that the stories I'm going to tell you, they are based on real life. So you may have experienced something familiar. So something I need to ask you is, let's try not to be so happy about them or not to cry, because sometimes you're going to identify yourself and it's not going to be easy maybe. So let's start with the first one. The first one is the Scrum Master, that is the dictator. It's the one that says, don't worry, it's a democracy, but however, I'm the only one that can vote. So this is the dictator one. This is the one that has the power, that hides information. What is the kind of behavior we see in this kind of Scrum Master? Unfortunately, is someone that is imposing decisions without consultation to the team. Rather than trying to persuade the team and team members, it's someone that is just putting his or her wish over the team consensus or agreement. So this is Scrum Master makes unilateral decisions without seeking input from the team. They dictate, or he or she dictates, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, without considering, for example, perspectives, without considering the expertise of teams. Is someone that is for sure micromanaging team members, closely monitoring and controlling every aspect of the team's work. No room for autonomy in this case. How we should do the work, why we are not logging this kind of time you spend during the sprint, and so on and so forth. It's someone that for sure, instead of creating an environment where we can make mistakes and we can learn from them, is punishing or even criticizing this kind of mistakes. Is someone that is not paying attention at all to conflicts. I just don't care, right? Because, yeah, I'm not there for that. You can solve yourselves. Is someone that tries to have an excessive control over the process. This is a classical example, right? So someone that tries to impose inflexible processes, not considering like agile value or principles or even at a Scrum level. So they may resist, this kind of Scrum Masters, they may resist to change or refuse to consider some kind of adjustments. There is a big lack of transparency because it's someone that says, okay, information is power. So I'm going to take this decision. I'm not going to talk to the team. I'm going to go into my dark Scrum Master room and I'll see what is the best for them because I take care of them, right? And ignoring not only capacity, but it's more the well-being of the team. It's even worse, right? It's someone that tries to push the work to the team beyond what the team believes they can do, beyond their capacity. So they may impose unrealistic deadlines. They might overload team members with excessive tasks and work. And unfortunately, this kind of behavior brings a lot of consequences. The first one is that, well, you have kind of team morale and motivation that can plummet as the team members, they feel disempowered, they feel undervalued. They feel they are restricted in their decision-making abilities. This can lead also to decrease of productivity, creativity, collaboration also between the members, right? Because this kind of behavior, it can really, really kill the trust that we have within the team. And then it will impact all the communication, all the collaboration, all the performance at team level. The dictatorial Scrum Master may or might dismiss valuable input or valuable ideas from the team, and this can make us miss opportunities for improvement or even for innovation, right? So team members, they are not encouraged to share their ideas, their insights, their creativity, their innovation can be just killed, right? Why should I care about proposing something if the Scrum Master is never considering, or even worse, it's not the Scrum Master to say yes or no, but as a team, we agree on something and the Scrum Master comes and just do something else. There is a big lack of open communication and trust because also if you talk about Scrum, then we have as a base of Scrum empiricism, but also trust. And this can lead to a breakdown in the team's ability to self-organize, to self-manage, and this will impact the whole performance of the team. It will also impact the autonomy. We don't have autonomy anymore. We have someone with a dictator behavior, someone that tends to make decisions without involving the team, without considering input from team members. So this lack of autonomy can make individuals, they feel a little bit undervalued, they feel undermined, their sense of ownership and commitment to the product, to the solution might just decay, right? I faced this myself in many teams, also as part of the team, right? So you just kind of, I don't care anymore. Why should I care about proposing things? Last but not least, it can really, really damage team dynamics, right? It can really impact the product success, the solution success, the value we are delivering. It can create an environment of fear instead of an environment of trust, which is also the main idea of the Scrum Master, right? I want to give you 2 examples. The first one is not an example, it is a real life situation. So let's brief if you identify yourself with some of them, just on, because it can bring bad memories of someone, a Scrum Master, taking decisions without consultation. So this is based on real life, unfortunately. So in this situation, we have the product owner that reach the Scrum Master with a request to assess the delivery or the delivery timeline for 2 new features. And the product owner asked the Scrum Master to provide an answer by the end of the day. I've seen this happening. And then the Scrum Master says, don't worry, product owner, don't need to be afraid, I will handle it. The problem is that the Scrum Master starts handling it independently, starts to analyze some data, classical data, team velocity, capacity, look at the features, because Scrum Master had a kind of background already in this area. And then the Scrum Master determines the dates for delivering those 2 features, right? So after this amazing achievement, this amazing work done by our dear Scrum Master, he informs the product owner about the dates. So the product owner was extremely happy, fantastic. I love these dates, right? They were planned even before what the product owner was expecting. Scrum Master was also very proud and happy, right? But then we are forgetting some people, right? We are forgetting the team. We are forgetting the developers, and they're going to do the work. So question is, do we believe that developers, they will be as happy as the product owner in this case, or as the Scrum Master? Absolutely not, right? So in this case, the Scrum Master made a decision regarding deliveries and the work without consulting the team. It's very bad scenario because we have someone that is not doing the work, estimating the work. Estimations will always be wrong, but they will be even worse or even biggest wronger than this case if they are done by someone that is not really doing and executing the work. And this can bring impacts to the team, and it brought. So we had in this team reduced ownership and commitment. So team was not involved in the decision-making process. So they were feeling a little bit like, yeah, no, okay, why should I care? It's unrealistic anyway. We know it's not achievable. It could lead us to inadequate estimations. Anyway, keep in mind, estimations are just estimations. They will always be wrong. But in this case, they are not being done by those doing the work. So it's even worse. Transparency, trust, they are not there anymore, right? Team members, they may feel excluded, they may feel undervalued, they may feel even disrespected because it was a decision based on the work to be done. And we can have also demotivation for the team. And even this team faced quality issues. Why was that? Because they had unrealistic dates not provided by them. So they start rushing to achieve these dates, not realistic. So they started prioritizing speed over quality. And that was then, after a while, reducing in defects, technical debt, and even customer dissatisfaction, because the value was just harmed. Second story I want to tell you, Scrum Master managing team members. I guess never happened to you, right? It's just, let's suppose it's a fictitious scenario. In this case, Scrum Master is using a tool to inspect the progress during the sprint, where they store, they visualize their work, they have some provided reports and so on. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right? Then our great Scrum Master requests members to log time spent in every single story, in every single activity that they were doing. So, okay, you spent 4 hours on this story, so log it, please. You spent half a day? Why I cannot see this in the user story as the time that you spent? So nobody was actually understanding the why behind it. But the Scrum Master was also using this data to control, so it's even worse, and check if each team member has spent the exact capacity they forecast during the planning. So I don't believe anybody will be happy in this situation if you're part of this team, right? So it didn't stop there. Scrum Master then was challenging some people. Why you spend 4.5 a day on this user story if we thought it was 3 days? So it was challenging every single activity. And the point is, this team faced then a lot of pressure, because imagine working on an environment where people are always controlling exactly the time you have spent in each one of the activities. So this creates a culture of micromanagement, reduced focus on value delivered, because we give more emphasis and we give more attention on tracking time than actually delivering the value. This can impact as well the autonomy. This demotivated the team and led some of the team members to a kind of potential burnout situations, too much pressure. And then imagine during the sprint planning, 1 week and a half ago, I said this will be 4 days or whatever story points, I don't know. And now, what if I spend more than that, right? It was leading to an unhealthy competition, because then I won't help you anymore. I won't help you as a team member because I need to prove that I work 10 days because 10 days were my capacity. And this, of course, can really kill creativity and innovation, because I cannot go outside of this, how we plan to do it. So this whole sprint thing just lost the learning, and out of being the learning cycle is now just let's execute this plan. All right. The second one, I'm sure you cannot see this person. It's the invisible Scrum Master. So this one is someone that is never around. It's someone that I've seen this sentence in real life. You are self-organized, you are self-managed, you don't need me, see you next spring. Well, it could be potentially the case sometimes if you have a really major team, right? But it's not the case in most of the times and most of the teams. So the behavior we have, of course, lack of availability. Scrum Master is never there. Scrum Master doesn't respond to question, doesn't coach the team, is never there in case the team needs. There is an absence from events. Although Scrum Master doesn't really must be there every time. But if you have a storming team, a norming team, Scrum Master is never there, then they will not reach a performing level. There is a limited coaching and mentoring, and sometimes none, they don't exist. So this can lead as well to conflict, for example, in the team, to a team that doesn't know how to make decisions or how to work together. There is also the idea of communication, ignoring some ideas of improvement. As a Scrum Master, I'm there to create this relentless and continuous improvement environment where I can make the team always be a better team, and I can help them with that, right? So regarding the pillars and the value, empiricism, transparency, inspection, adaptation, they can be just forgotten, and the team can just go into a mechanical scrum, which is really dangerous. And then we ignore the team concerns. This person is never there. If it's a performing team, maybe it's okay, right? But if it's all other kind of teams, it might be a big issue. And as a consequence, you have lack of guidance and support. You have decrease of productivity because, well, as a team, we just start working together, or we have no idea what this Scrum is about, or we misunderstand the guide, or we misunderstand the principles or the values or the pillars. So we just focus on the events, we just focus on time box, and we forget all the rest. You can have, again, low moral and motivation because, well, there is someone that is supposed to help us, and this person is never there. So we feel ourselves, we are kind of invisible in the same way, right? Unresolved impediments, again, it's not the role of Scrum Master, it's not the duty of the Scrum Master to resolve the impediments for the team, but to help them to know how to solve them, right? But then if Scrum Master is never there, it's going to be really harder to reach this level. There is a failure or some failure to adapt, to improve. So getting at a higher performance level, it's going to be harder than that. Failure to adapt and to improve. And we are going to miss opportunity for growth because as a team, we are most of the time focused on executing the plan, changing, adapting, delivering the value, and then having someone outside as a Scrum Master just to see the point of improvements, how we work during this sprint, giving some feedback. This can really, really help. So the first story is about the absence in team events. So Scrum Master is not obliged to be there in the team events. I would say that if you're a Scrum Master, at least be at the retrospective, but then if you can be there every time, that's even better for your team, right? But in this case, it was a situation where the Scrum Master was never present at the planning, at the sprint planning of the team. And the excuse was, you're already self-organized. Go and find a solution, go and build a plan. If it's not a major team yet, that could be a problem. But in this case, the product owner was also the manager of some team members. So the product owner was facing a pressure by customers, by stakeholders to meet some target dates that the product owner gave, right? So during the planning, the product owner starts pushing more work to the team, to the developers, that they think they can do during the sprint. So in an ideal situation, this should never happen, right? And if it happens, then developers, they should be able to say no. But the problem here is that we are missing a little bit hierarchy with the framework. So they know they need to say no, but they don't do it because they are a little bit afraid. It's my manager, right? So in this case, they mix hierarchy with the accountability of product owner and the absence of Scrum Master. We have the situation that happened, and developers, they were just overloaded, never reaching objectives. And this led this team to, again, demotivation, because, again, we are overcommitting, we are overloading ourselves. Potential burnouts, because there are a lot of pressure to really achieve some of the objectives, some commitments, and also from the perspective of a hierarchy, this is probably going to impact myself in another way. Creative and innovation, that's going to be really, really low because, well, we cannot afford to be creative and to innovate if we already have more on our plate than we can take or that we can eat, right? Quality issues again, because this team was saying, we are overloaded, so let's do the quick and dirty. Let's ship it. Let's finalize this. Let's jump to the other story, to the other activity, because we really need to get this done. It's the manager that is there. And that was leading as well to a decrease of productivity. The second example, real life situation, lack of support, but most precisely conflict resolution. So in this case, there was a conflict between two senior developers. I put two nice names, Mark and Lisa, regarding some technical decisions that the team has to make. right? But they keep always discussing as they have two different views on how to architect, how to develop some of the functionalities. So this disagreement, this discussion escalates during the sprint, especially during sprint planning, during backlog refinement. So this tension starts to affect the dynamic and decision-making process. But our dear Scrum Master is there, living the good life of a Scrum Master that it's invisible, hoping they will resolve themselves with the excuse they are already self-organized and self-managed. The problem is, in this case, Mark and Lisa, they start questioning themselves, each other's technical abilities every time. And they start trying to influence team members to go with them. So these unresolved conflicts start affecting the whole team, creating a little bit of silos, disrupting collaboration and communication. And this generated big impact for this team. No collaboration anymore, right? And even two silos in the team, because I prefer Mark, I prefer Lisa. I think Mark is more senior than Lisa and whatever. So decreased collaboration, lower productivity. There was a kind of decision paralysis, meaning that the ongoing disagreement was leading to this paralysis. The team was struggling to reach maybe a consensus, let's put it this way, maybe not the best word, but a consensus on the technical approach, an agreement on the technical approach to go. So this was delaying the progress. This was impacting also the delivery. More than that, creating silos on the team, but a big issue they faced was related to quality, because this unresolved conflict was leading to rushed decision-making, or even worse, implementation choices driven by personal preferences rather than the best technical solution. So I always take my decision now based on what I think is the best, because I like to work with, I don't know, this technology. I like to code in Java and Python, whatever, but it's probably not the best for our product and for the solution. And that was really impacting them and the product. The third one is, my precious, I'm the process lover. I'm the Scrum Master. So it means I'm mastering Scrum. So it means I have the Scrum guide on my hand. And okay, you have a question? Wait a minute. Let me take a look on the guide. Okay, do it like this. Well, we know that the guide doesn't have at all the answers for our questions. And this could also be a problem by itself, right? So let's talk about these three and the third archetype. In terms of behavior, it's someone that really is attached to this role and to the Scrum guide and all the events, all the time boxes, this mechanical way of doing. So it's someone prioritizing process, compliance, let's put it this way, over complexity, over flexibility, over adaptability. It is someone that has really passion about time boxing, which I'm not saying this is wrong, right, to respect the time box, but it's someone saying, okay, the daily Scrum is 50 minutes. Even if you didn't speak yet, we cannot afford to have 30 seconds more. Or someone, I have seen this many times. The team is talking during the daily Scrum, and there is one person less, and the Scrum Master says, okay, go ahead. You have 20 seconds. So what is the point, right? It's just the process over people. Is someone that loves metrics, and this, I'll give you a real life example because this is also dangerous. Is someone that focuses on metrics, for example, velocity as indication of progress, of team performance, of success. So they may prioritize achieving these numerical goals over considering the overall value and the impact of what the team is doing, the impact of the value delivered, right? It's someone that has a strict role monitoring or accountability monitoring. So you are the product owner, you should do that. You are an architect, wait a minute, there's no architect in the team, so I put in place a process. So it's someone that is really controlling the team in this sense, And there is a big resistance to change, because once you say, all my answers will be in the Scrum guide and we cannot deviate never ever from that, then you're just kind of killing the adaptability, right? Because context-wise, you may need to change something or you may need to adapt a little bit. Consequences in general that this kind of behavior can bring is lack of focus on the product, because we give more priority to process compliance over delivering the value to our customers. So sprint goals, they may lose the objective, the importance of providing high quality. It could just go behind us because we need to respect what we have as in terms of process. This also regards the flexibility. There's no flexibility anymore, right? Everything is a process. Everything is already there and we need to respect. So autonomy is not there anymore. The confidence, the trust, it's going to be really hard to achieve. And there is again a decrease or reduced in terms of creativity and innovation. Because once you have this process in place or so many processes in place and you can never deviate from them, then innovation, also innovation in terms of the process itself, they will never happen. Scrum Master will not let you. In terms of problem resolution, that's going to be hard, because with this process-centric Scrum Master, the team may struggle to address complex problems or obstacles they require or that require adaptive thinking or creative solution or even innovation again, right? So there is not any more emphasis in this continuous improvement, or there is, unless it doesn't touch my process, unless it doesn't touch my precious process, or unless it doesn't go, if it goes a little bit against the Scrum guide, if it's not in the Scrum guide, maybe let's not do it. 2 final stories. Again, let's try not to cry. I hope you're not crying yet. I hope I'll make you cry with these last 2 stories. Someone, a Scrum Master, that was blindly enforcing team rules. So there was a Scrum team, and that happened before pandemic. I believe that now it could be even more the case because we are used to work on remote. But there was a Scrum team with 7 members, 5 of them in France, 1 of them, John, in New York, and 1 of them, Lisa, in Australia. So it was a team working in 3 different time zones, right? The problem is that there was a big difference between them. So they agree to have their daily Scrum at 2 p.m. in France. 2 p.m. means 8 hours for John in New York and 10:30 p.m. for Lisa in Australia. So that's not great, right? But the team agreed, including Lisa, that she would attend twice per week, because 10:30 p.m. is not easy. She would attend twice per week. All the team was agreeing on that. Lisa was already doing a big effort, making a huge effort to attend twice per week at 10 p.m. And the whole team agrees. The problem is that our dear process lover forces Lisa to always attend. So that was really, really creating this environment of fatigue and potential burnout. There was a lot of fatigue, work-life imbalance, especially for Lisa at 10:30 p.m. There was increased distress for this team member. There was a little bit also an impact on morale and engagement, because it was a team agreement, right? There's no problem if she goes there twice per week. We can handle the remaining 3 days. That's not a problem. But then Scrum Master goes and say no. So this relates a little bit with the Dictator and potential burnout. This person almost went into kind of burnout because every time, every day, 10:30 p.m. to do a daily, this person won't be motivated at all, right? And last but not least, I think it's my preferred story, is someone that also loves metrics. So there was an amazing Scrum Master, Jane. Raul, no, it was not Raul, it was Jane, that was building an incredible page and pages with a lot of metrics and charts and visualizing the velocity, the burn down charts, the progress of every story points, and etc. So to have this page with the freshest and latest information, Jane builds a process to force the team members to fill around 10 fields in the tool they are using. I'm not telling which tool it was. I let your imagination goes. When creating and updating each one of the items and each one of the stories. So it was really time consuming. The point is, team members, they were not understanding the why behind it, why we need to fill all of that. And this was generating a lot of questions. So there was distracting a little bit the team from the real value to be delivered, because they were spending a lot of time to fill a process for Jane, the Scrum Master. The problem is, in this case, we have a clear example of vanity metrics. Metrics that they were not good for the team. It was just good for the person that created the metric, because Jane was really proud of this amazing report and pages they had. So that was a waste of time and effort. There was a lack of focus on delivery, because we need to feel off that we are spending time anyway, right? There is a little bit of frustration and resistance. And important thing is that metrics, they drive behavior. And when we have bad metrics, they drive bad behaviors, right? So we were putting more attention, this team was putting more attention to having this amazing page. No one was looking at that except the Scrum Master. So we reached the end where we talked a little bit about the 3 archetypes, the Dictator, the Invisible, and my favorite one, the Process Lover, right? Regarding those 3 archetypes, if you are facing this, or if you feel you are in one of them, I'll just say, do like Elsa and let it go, right? Don't focus on them anymore. So that's why I want to give you some key takeaways. First, don't do mechanical Scrum. Understanding the guide is really easy. It's really simple, right? But don't do mechanical Scrum. Avoid the trap of turning Scrum into a mechanical process. It's not just about events and working in sprints. It's about empiricism. It's about transparency. It's about inspection and adaptation. So go beyond the guide. The guide is barely the minimum you need to know to understand, but you can challenge this as well for the best of the team. It's more about the team than about the guide. And as a Scrum Master, you can also reflect on your own approach and behavior. Ask yourself if you are guiding the team towards this self-management, cross-functionality. Sometimes when I talk to a Scrum Master, I tell them, your goal as a Scrum Master is to become useless. And then they get a little bit upset, but then I rephrase this and say, your goal as a Scrum Master is to help the team to be performing, to help the team to have a team that doesn't need you that often. So the team has less need of a Scrum Master, but you are still essential. So ensure you're not creating a team that depends on you. Ask team members for feedback. Ask stakeholders for feedback. Ask management for feedback. Encourage the team to reflect on their process, interaction, work problems, victories, help them with empiricism, help them to create this safe environment where experimentation is possible, and learn from your own experiences. How you help other teams. Have you already experienced some of those similar situations? Can you help your team, or how can you help your team to move forward? So yourself as well, use empiricism. But more than anything, just don't dictate, don't be invisible, be there for your team, and don't be blinded by the process. As a servant leader, or as a leader, and as a Scrum Master, it's not about you. Servant leadership is not about the leader, but it's about your team. It's about how you are providing value to your team as a Scrum Master, right? So there's no space for vanity when being a Scrum Master. I would like to thank you for attending this talk. Again, please don't hesitate to reach me out, LinkedIn or email or if you come to South of France, you can ask for Raul, everybody knows. I'm also happy to talk about not only Scrum and Scrum Master, but Lean Agile in general, everything you think I can help you with. Let's chat. I think this is the most important thing, right? And we still have, I believe, a few minutes for questions. In any case, feel free to drop your question, to ask your question. And thank you very much for your time. Any questions from you?
Raul, it's Inga. I have one question in Huva. I will just read it. So it's about conflicts. So where is this thick line when to jump in and help to resolve conflict, not too fast, not too late, when delivery is impacted?
Yeah, I believe it's a delicate situation when you have a conflict between, especially two team members. What I like to do is I talk to each one of the team members separately. If you have a conflict between Mark and Lisa, for example, I talk to Lisa, I talk to Mark, I try to understand what's going on, what is her vision or his vision, and see what's going on. Because there is always three sides in a story. There is Lisa's point of view, there is Mark's point of view, and there is the truth, right? So I try to understand that separately to not create this tension in front of the whole team. My second step, what I like to do is I try to provoke and propose a meeting, a session together, a call together, a talk together between Lisa and Mark and myself, just to see if we can arrange something so they can understand each other and they can clean this mess. And sometimes what I do, if it's impacting the team already, then I will do the same for the teams. What I was doing when I was a Scrum Master, from time to time, I was just doing kind of one-to-one with team members, but very informal. If we are there, do you want to grab a coffee? Let's take a coffee. And then we go to the coffee machine and ask you, how is it going? Do you have ideas? Do you see problems pop in the team? So something really, really informal, right? Because sometimes you can have conflicts that you can see, but sometimes you have something that is hidden. It's going to be really, really hard to identify unless you be more proactive in the sense. So I hope it helps and answers the question. Any other question? Okay. So thank you very much all for your time, for being here today. Don't hesitate to reach me out. It will be really a pleasure to talk. I love this topic. I love Scrum Mastering. I love Scrum. It's how I started in this Lean Agile nightmare that I love being part of. So thank you very much. And I wish you a great day with nice talks ahead of you.